What's up, Wargamers? John back here again with, this time, number 3 of our test track series. Seems to do pretty well, even though I know you guys are probably hearing a lot about it, at least at the time of filming this, is YouTube's doing just this weird algorithm thing again, where everybody's views, not just me, even big stuff like Adeptus Ridiculous, and a bunch of people, like, their views are just getting shot down. I don't know if it's just reviewing or it's doing that weird thing again where what's the word where like people just aren't getting their notifications. Just help out, all that boring YouTube stuff. Make sure you're subscribed right and getting your notifications and the little bell stuff. Liking is always helpful. But anyway, back to the gritty here. Is this time doing the test track series. We've got a little universe crossover here with this current team I just recently made that's all themed. It's a Beverly team, and I thought I'd do is I'd take all the ghost cars and just run them all against each other. It'll just be fun, and then I don't have to deal with respawning and all that. So, a little shaky here because I've got little ants in my pants knees. So yeah, like I said, a little universe crossover. This team I just built was Warhammer 40 Chaos themed. So we're just doing all the ghost cars. We got Korn, we got Nurgle, we got Slanesh, we got little Zinchy Boy Zinch. All that, just possessing their cars in this universe of Gaslands. The mission we rode was Zombie Bash, very fitting. So they're just driving around collecting souls. So it's pretty much just like Gaslands' version of the great game. So I think it turned out pretty fun. I think that's about it. We're just going to roll into the game then, and I'll see you during the video. Have a great time. The wastelands of the radiated states of America are no longer quiet. The graves of 1 million Americans lie empty, and their eerie and radioactive occupants roam the highways in undead hordes. What's up, race fans? Junkyard John here, up in the newscopter. Just trying to make sense of what we're seeing down here. So let's get into some basic rules for tonight's event. First off, we have pole position. Players will roll off for pole position in the beginning of the game, and at the end of each gear phase, pass the pole position marker clockwise. Special rules: zombies. Vehicles may not attack zombies. Zombies do not count as obstructions. If a vehicle's movement, template, or final position touches a zombie, the controller of that vehicle may collect that zombie. If any vehicle is wrecked, the controller of that vehicle must place 5 zombies from their collected zombies within short range of the wrecked vehicle. Scrapper. Disqualified vehicles do not count as destroyed and may not respawn. We have game end and victory conditions. The game ends when either fewer than 10 zombies remain in play or one player has collected 20 zombies. When the game ends, the player who has collected the most zombies is the winner. And then we have spoils. If you're playing a televised season campaign, each team gains 1 can for each zombie held at the end of the game, to a maximum of 20 cans. So that's about everything, guys. Let's get right into this game. Alright, race fans, we're down here in the garage with one of the competitors for tonight. This one's looking pretty sickly in it. We've got the Lord of Plague here himself. We've got the Plague Father. The chassis type is a buggy. As far as weapons and equipment, just a bunch of handguns for the little nurglings riding around in it. And as far as perks, we just have violent manifestations. Alright, race fans, we're down here in the garage with another racer for tonight. We have the Desire and Excess Made Manifest over here. We have the Prince of Pleasure. The chassis type is a buggy. As far as weapons and equipment goes, we got a pair of handguns for the crew. And perks, we have Violent Manifestations. Alright, race fans, we're down here in the garage with one of the racers for tonight. And this one we have is the Skull King himself. We have the Lord of Rage. The chassis type is a buggy. As far as weapons and equipment wise, it's just the crew with handguns. And as far as perks go, we have Violent Manifestations. Alright, so we're down here in the garage with another competitor for tonight. This one we have is the Master of Magic itself. We have the Architect of Fate. The chassis type is a buggy. The weapons we have is just handguns for the crew. And as far as perks, we have Violent Manifestations. Alright, Wargamers. We got the table set up here. We got all the racers here in their quarters. We've got... what's his name now? I forget already. We got Plague Father, Prince of Pleasure, Architect of Fate, Lord of Rage here. We've got our legally distinct souls here that's gathered about. And as you can see here, we got all this set up. We got everyone done, their pole position ready to go. We've got counters to keep track of how many souls they've collected here in the not zombie bash. So let's just get right into the game then. Alright, we're going to start off with Plague Father here. Plague Father is going to do a medium churn here. And I think we're going to do... They're all buggies, so he has a handling of 4. See, where can I roll these that doesn't knock zombies everywhere? We're just going to roll 3 handling. We got a slide, a spin. We're going to take 1 hazard, because I didn't get any shifts. And we're just going to re-roll all 3. Alright, that's a lot better. We're going to cancel a slide, because we don't want to come out over here, and we'll just take a shift. That puts us like this. And just narrowly missing that soul, which is unfortunate. Alright, Plague Father here went up to 2nd gear, gained 2 hazards. So that's it. Alright, Architect of Fate over here is going to take a medium move. And you get a free shift for that. And I think we're just gonna roll 3 hazards. We're going to roll 3 shift dice. Hopefully they're not hazards. Actually, not bad. Not bad at all. We're going to cancel one of these out to save on hazards. So we're going to shift up 1, and we're going to slide. So that's not too bad. Gonna put you just like this, gaining us a zombie. Alright, so that leaves Architect Fate here. He's got 1 zombie token. Went up to gear 2, gained 2 hazards, so that's it. Alright, up next over here, we've got the Prince of Pleasure. It's gonna follow suit. We're gonna do a medium straight. If I can get my fingers on this thing. And then what we're gonna do is she's gonna roll, I guess, just 3 hazards as well, which gives us 2 shifts and a hazard plus a free 1 here. So we're going to cancel 1 out, and we're going to shift up 2 gears. We also gain a hazard here for going on dangerous terrain. Alright, so that puts her at 3rd gear and gained 3 hazards here, and that about ends the churn. Alright, we got Lord of Rage over here. Lord of Rage is just going to do a gentle churn here. And we're going to roll, I guess same as... We're just gonna roll 3 hazard. What's with me and hazards? We're going to roll 3 shifts. We are going to take a hazard. We rolled the 2 shifts. Ooh, that's even worse. Alright, this is what we're going to do. We're going to use 1 to cancel this hazard. And then our free one from the template, we're going to shift up one and spin. So we're going to go whoop. Then we can spin, lay us up for the next turn. And that puts it out for Lord of Rage for this turn. Alright, up next now with the new pole position, we have the Architect of Fate, which is just going to do a gentle turn here. Which looks like it would be hitting these two. We're going to keep it just like that so we can roll. And we're going to do 3 shifts. Ooh. We're going to use 1 to get, what gear are you in? We're going to do 1 to get rid of an old hazard, and then we're going to shift up twice, which really only shifts us up once. Let's see here. This would have been actually a lot easier with the third arm, so I could hold this camera. So the template would have hit these 2. Oops. And 4. So not bad. That gaining 4 zombies for him. Alright, and that leaves Architect of Fate at Gear 4, 3 hazards, and 5 zombie tokens here. So not too bad. Alright, up next we got the Prince of Pleasure here, and she's going to do a swerve. I'm sorry. We're going to swerve like this to get the 2 zombies, because I can't hold it at the same time. Let's roll some hazards here. I think, yeah, we're going to get rid of the slide. We're going to keep the shift. So we're going to collect these 2. We'll put them over here for right now. And alright, and that's going to put Prince of Pleasure here up to Gear 4 with 4 hazards and 2 zombies here. So that's it. Alright, up next we got Lord of Rage. Lord of Rage is just going to do a simple medium, which is just going to do 1 zombie here. We get a free shift from the template. I think we're just going to roll 2 shift here. That free shift, I think, is what we're going to do. Is we're going to take the free shift. We're going to cancel out the the hazard. I'm sorry. We're going to keep the slide and see if we get another zombie. So the slide template would take 3 more zombies in. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to spin this way. So not too bad. Alright, not too bad. So that puts Lord of Rage at 2nd gear, kind of stalling out for the rest of the turn. But you got 4 hazards and 4 zombies, so that's not too bad. Alright, so up next we got Plague Father. And I think what we're going to do is we're just going to do a simple turn here, which is going to tap the zombie here. And then we're just going to roll 3 shift dice. So let's see what we get. Shoot. We're in 3rd gear, nothing. I think what we're going to do is we'll take the hazard, we'll roll the 2. Okay. We're just going to cancel this. We're going to upshift 1. We're going to go taking another zombie count here. Alright, so after all that, that puts Plague Father here at, where are you? Gear 3, 4 hazards, and 2 zombies. Alright, back here up at the turn of gear 3. And we're going to start here with Prince of Pleasure. And I think what we're going to do is we're just going to do a medium straight, which is going to clip 2 zombies here. And then we're going to roll. The problem is we've got a bunch of hazards. And maybe we can get a slide out of this. Maybe we can get a slide out of this 2 to get another zombie. So I don't have anywhere good to roll here. So we're going to roll here. Cocked. So we got 1 shift from the template. And the spin's not too bad. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to use all these 4 shifts to get rid of previous hazards. We're going to spin and take 1. So what we're going to do is here, which is going to clip a zombie. And then we are going to, I think we don't really want to spin. I think we'll just straighten out a little bit. All right, that puts Prince of Pleasure here up to 5 zombies, 1 hazard in gear 4, and I think just barely out of range of guns here. So that's it. All right, up next we have here is Architect of Fate. Now we're just gonna kind of try to do a churn here, which clips the base of this zombie. And we're in gear phase 4, so it's a hazard. So we're gonna roll. We're just gonna roll 2 shifts, see if we can get rid of some previous hazards here. Nope, there's another hazard. That's a spin. Ooh. So that 3 would be a wipeout. So we're going to have to spin a hazard and go for it. And that is even worse. So that's going to put... He's going to keep the zombie because it hit it about there. But that's going to put him pretty much here. Oops, sorry. It's going to put him pretty much here, hitting that piece of terrain. And I believe it's also going to be a wipeout. But let's get the dice for this collision, and I'll be back. Alright, so we got our dice pools here. The terrain... Alright, so the terrain's going to smash because it has to. Architect of Fate here is going to try to evade. That's a head-on with the terrain. And we're going to call this medium terrain. So the terrain gets to roll 6 dice to smash with. 4s are better. So it does 4 damage here. And then Architect is going to try to swerve out of the way. It blocks 1, so it takes 3 damage. And gains 2 hazards. Alright, the buggy does wipe out over here. So Fate is going to roll to see if he flips. Roll under your gear, so he does not flip. So that's fine. We're going to go down to gear 1, reduce our hazards down to 1, and get a new facing, which is not very good. And then that should do it. Alright, so we're here with Plague Father. Plague Father is going to do a regular turn, which is going to put it... clip the zombie here so he gains a zombie. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to roll 3 shift dice. And what we're going to get is... Ooh. I think what we're going to do, we're going to cancel one of these spins. So you're just going to take a regular spin. So we're going to go like this. And then we're going to spin like this and pop another zombie. So we're going to gain 2 zombies here. And we will gain 1 hazard. Alright, and then what we got here is Plague Father here is going to shoot the pistols at... I'm sorry, we're going to shoot handguns over here at the Prince. So we need 4s or better. Does 1 crit of 2. And then the Prince here is in gear 4. So no, Prince takes 2 damage. And I think that'll do it. Alright, we're up here at gear phase 4, and the only one that can activate is Prince of Pleasure. He's just going to do a medium. And we're just going to, she's going to steal this zombie right in front of Plague. Put down her template. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to roll 2 shift. And we're going to try to push a slew. Do I want to, though? No, actually, no. Actually, no. Now that I'm looking at it, it would be too much. So we're just going to take our free shift because we don't want to hit this terrain. We're going to do our free shift just to get rid of a old hazard, and that's it. So we're going to go... Oh, actually, look at that. Actually does pop another one. So 3 zombies total. Alright, so that brings Prince of Pleasure zombie total up to 9. And then since we're so close, we're going to shoot a couple handguns over here. So we're going to do 1 hit on Plague Father, who's in gear 3, which gives him no defense. So Plague Father is going to take 1 point of damage. And I believe that will do it. Alright, we're up here at the top. And Plague Father has pole position this time. So Plague Father is going to do a gentle turn, catching the zombie here. So that gives me, I'll just put it on the template, 1 zombie here. And then, now Plague Father's got a lot of hazards. So we're going to roll 4 handling, try to clean some of these up. Actually, not bad. Plague Father will gamble, so we're going to take 1 hazard to reroll these 2. Alright, we're going to do that then. We're going to get rid of this one. We're going to use these 2 to get rid of previous 2 hazards. But we gained 1, so we're really only losing 1 hazard for all that. Alright, so the move. Go. Boop. He pops another one by tapping the base. Alright, so not bad. Plague Father here got 2 more zombies. Alright, this puts Plague Father's zombie total up to 6. Gear 3, 4 hazards, and we're going to take 2 shots. We're going to take 2 shots here at the Prince. Scoring 1 hit. And Prince of Pleasure is in 4th gear. And takes the 1 point of damage. And I think that will do it. Alright, up next we got Lord of Rage. And Lord of Rage is going to do a normal turn, which will tap 2 zombies. One, 2. And then to get rid of some hazards and to get up some gears, we're going to roll 4 handling. Not too bad, actually. We're going to cancel the slide so he doesn't pile into terrain. And then... actually, no. We have more hazards than we thought. We have 4 hazards. We're going to use 2 of these to get rid of previous hazards. Which is going to put him like this with his wheel right over, counting him another zombie. And hopefully he's going to make it out of that churn next round. Alright, and then that puts Lord of Rage at 2nd gear, 2 hazards, and a total of 7 zombies. Alright, up next here we have is the Prince of Pleasure, and there's no point in choosing the template, because there's no way I can get out of hitting this terrain here. So it's just going to be a head-on collision. Boom. The terrain's going to smash, because it has to. The Prince of Pleasure here is going to try to evade. So we already pulled our dice pools. So for the damage, we've got, we've got a total of 4 hits. Prince of Pleasure is evading, which blocks 1. So Prince takes 3 damage and 2 hazards. Alright, so looking at the stats here. That 3 damage actually kills Rex, the Prince of Pleasure here. So short straight, but it wouldn't make it past the terrain, so you just stay here. See if she explodes. She does. She is a lightweight vehicle. So she's going to do 2d6 damage here on the Plague Father. Doing 1. Dude, that's a 6. Actually doing 2 damage. Alright, Plague here is in 3rd gear, so he's going to try to evade. And he actually evades the 1 damage. Oh, man. So let me reset this. All right, Prince of Pleasure here has exploded. Is now out of the game, leaving not only flaming debris around, as the rules state. 5 more zombies, losing 5 off the total. Pop here, bringing the total for Prince of Pleasure down to 4 zombies. Now it could still win. Something crazy could happen over here, but I do not think so. So that's the end of it. Alright, so up next we have the Architect of Fate. And what we're going to do is, since he's beginning his turn touching terrain here, is we're just going to kind of phase through it and do this hairpin here. And we're going to roll. We're going to roll 4 shift dice. Try to get him back in the game. And that's actually not too bad. He's only got 1 hazard. So let's take this one and we're going to go for it. Back to a slide. No, we don't want that. That's actually worse. So we're going to cancel 1. We're going to pop through like pretty much this. And we're going to shift up twice. Alright, and that's going to put the Architect of Fate here at 3 hazards and 3rd gear. Alright, so we got pole position back up, and look at the draw, luckily, is Architect of Fate. Who knows, maybe with some Zinch dealings, is on top of pole position now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a medium straight, and then we're going to roll 2 handling and hope the power of Zinch will give him a slide to kind of build up some more distance here. Very close. We got to spin, though. That's not bad. So we're going to go here. We've got 2 shifts and a spin. And then we got a spin. No, that's not bad. We're spin to line up with this. And we are just going to use the 2 shifts to get rid of 2 previous hazards. All right, and that will put the Architect of Fate here at 2 hazards, gear 3. And we're going to shoot some warp fire little bolts from our pistol here, which is really funny. And we're going to throw it right into the back of Lord of Rage. So we need 1 hit with a 4. Lord of Rage is in gear 2, which he does block it. And that'll do it. Alright, next up we got Lord of Rage here. And Lord of Rage is going to do a hairpin to really try to... Let me switch hands here. To really try to squeeze that piece of terrain out. It looks like just barely makes it. And then we're going to roll 2 hazards to kind of... What are we trying to do? Get a little higher gear. We're going to do that. We're going to shift up, keep the other hazard. So we're going to go... Oh. This is not a nice spot for the Lord of Rage. Barely miss that terrain for just to really go right into 1 more piece. Alright, that puts Lord of Rage here into gear 3 with 3 hazards, which doesn't really matter. He's hitting that terrain next turn. And then what we're trying to do is this is going to miss. So what we're going to try to do here, is we can just barely tap the Plague Father here. So we got 2 pistols. Ooh, doing 3 hits. And Plague Father only blocks 1, so 2 damage. Alright, so the Lord of Rage here did 2 damage on Plague Father, and that's it. Alright, back here with Plague Father. Plague Father, I think we're going to do a medium move, clipping 2 zombies. Come here, you. And then we're going to roll 2 dice here, hoping to get rid of quite a few of these hazards we have. Now we got 1 free shift because of the template. And actually, that's not too bad. I think we're going to keep everything. We're going to keep the slide and we'll do 2 shifts. Looks like that slide here giving them 2 more zombies plus a final position one. Not too bad. Here's the hard part. Which way do we want to face? I think we're better off facing this way and getting out of this little jam here. Give us a little breathing room. So not bad. So 5 here. Oops. Alright, so we got a final position here. And then we're going to do some shooting back here at the Lord of Rage. We got 2 shots from handguns. Does 1 damage. And Lord of Rage here is going to evade. Doing 1 point of damage, blocking 1. So that's it. Nothing else really happens. Alright, back here at the top of the gear phase, this time with pole position passed. We're starting here with the Lord of Rage. And I'm looking at this gap here, right? I was like, oh, this guy's going to hit this no matter what. But now I'm thinking of a swerve, because the swerve has, is that the swerve? Yeah, the swerve. The swerve has this really sharp, goofy turn here in the beginning. And I'm thinking we could do that. So this is what we're going to commit with. We could do that. That's 1. It's the same either way. So I think, yeah. We're going to do the swerve. We're going to hit a zombie. If we could pull this off. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So we're picking up a zombie for this. And then we're going to roll. See, the problem is this here. No, we're not going to roll any. We're just going to cruise. So we're just going to cruise. We're going to hit up this zombie with our final position. So we're going to add 2 zombies to the total. And then the Lord of Rage here, he's going to shoot 2 pistols into Plague Father. This Plague Father is currently on the lead with 11 zombies. So 2 shots. Doing 1 point of damage. Father's in gear 3. So nothing. He'll take the 1 point. And I think that will do it for the Lord of Rage, bringing his zombie total up to 9. Alright, up next we have Plague Father here. And Plague Father is going to do a hairpin here. Just like this. He's going to take 2 zombies with him. Oops, and you are not one of the ones going with you. Here. And then I think, let's see, we got 3 hazards. We're in gear 3. See, this game just seems more about maneuvering than speed. So I think we're going to stay at 3. Oh, but we got a hazard. We're going to roll 1. We're going to roll 1, just see if we can get rid of that hazard. And it does. We'll cancel out the hazard with the template. And we're going to move 1 more zombie from our final position. And we'll add 3 to our total. So Plague Father here now has a total of 14 zombies. We're going to do a little return fire here. So 2 pistols. Ooh, doing 3 hits. And then the Lord of Rage. Actually blocking 1, so taking 2 damage. And that will do it right here. All right, up next we got the Architect of Fate here, and Architect is just gonna do a hard churn. So we're gonna take one of these zombies with us from the template. And again, we're gear 3, so I think we're just gonna see, we have another hazard here. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna roll one handling, try to get rid of that hazard. And does as well. Nice, nice, nice. So we're gonna go boop. Got 2 more souls added here. All right, and now we got shooting. We're gonna shoot the handguns from Architect here into Lord of Hate. So we've got 3 hits. Evading for the Lord. We've got 2 evades, so it just takes 1 damage. And I think that does it for the Architect of Fate. All right, we're back here at the top again, this time with Plague Father with pole position. And I think what we're going to do here is we're just going to do a gentle churn. Just like that. And we're going to roll 2 handling, hopefully get rid of some hazards. And it actually works out. So we're going to get rid of 2 old hazards, which brings Plague Father here down to 1 hazard left. And we're just going to kind of cruise into the middle of all these zombies. So I'll take in 1, 2 with us. And I do not believe he has range on anything else. So these 2 zombies are going to bring him up to 16 souls. And that'll be it for him. Alright, so now we got the Architect of Fate again. And what we're going to do is, we're kind of worried about hitting this. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go with a veer. We're going to just kind of line it up. Just like, it looks like it would tap this guy. So we're going to get the zombie. Didn't think we would. And Architect is at 2 hazards. So I don't really need to do anything. So we're just going to cruise along. Catching 2 zombies for us. And that will be it, because nobody's in shooting range. Alright, we got Lord of Rage here. Almost said Lord of Fate. Lord of Rage here. And really the only option I can see getting out of this is the hairpin. Like, that's all he's got. So we're just going to line that up. It's hazard, so we're going to try to get rid of it. We will go for it. Okay, so we're going to take 1, 2, 3 hazards when we didn't even have to really take 1. Not even getting a zombie. And I think 3 hazards will put him at... Oh, 3 hazards makes him wipe out. So let's get all the stuff. Alright, let's see if you flip. You do not. You do not. So he's good. He doesn't flip. So he stays here. He goes down to gear 1, 0 hazards, in a random direction. We're going to be facing this way now. So pretty much just kind of right back where he came. And that just does it for him. Alright, back here at the top of the gear phase, this time with Architect of Fate here with the pole position. I think all we're really going to do is this nice medium straight. It seems like a good way to really, we can catch up quite, actually not as many as I thought. Only 2. I thought I would have clipped more of these guys. But still not bad. Still not a bad route. And then I think what we want to do is we have a shift. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to roll and hope we either get a slide or a spin to kind of position and maneuver for more zombies. But if we got that hazard, we have the free shift from the template. So not too bad. And it is a spin, shift, a slide would have been better. Here, and then we're going to just kind of pivot on the spot. Knocking this one. Oops, come here you. So not too bad. We gained 3 zombies. And that's it. Which will bring to 9, 10, 11. Brings it up to 12, which is pretty close. Alright, so up next we have Plague Father here. And what Plague Father is going to do is we're just going to do a swerve. And we're just going to try to catch some of these zombies. Like this. No, I think that's the best. So we're going to go. Right, well, this little fire token, get out of here. So we're only going to catch 1 zombie. Oops. And once again, pretty... don't really need to do much, so we're just going to kind of cruise. And that will do it, bringing Plague Father up to 17 tokens. Alright, we're back up here at the gear phase, this time with Plague Father on pole position. And I think what we're going to do is we're just going to do is this nice gentle turn here. Just to try to set up for all these zombiloids over here. And again, not really needing to do much, so we're just going to cruise. Just like that. And that's all he's really got. Alright, we're back up here with the Architect of Fate. And what I'm thinking is we're going to try to pull a gentle turn. And what we're going to try to do is try to just kind of sweep this corner here and line up for these 3. So we'll see if it works out. So these 2 are hitting the templates. And then we're just going to kind of cruise on. And then we're going to gain 2 more zombies, bringing up Architects up to 11. Alright guys, we're back up to the top of the gear phase, and we have Lord of Hate doing the pole position, and just real funny, I know, Lord of Hate's going to reverse short, and that's going to tap 2 zombies. And now we're going to do is, we've got 1 shift from the template, so we're going to roll 2 more. And that will be, we'll take them both. So we're going to gain a hazard, which will put them at 1, 2, 3. We're going to go up 2 gears and add 2 zombies. Alright, up next we have his Plague Father. And we're just going to do a gentle turn here. Gets 1 zombie. Oops. And then we've got no real reason to roll any dice. So we're just going to cruise right into the middle here. Nice setup for next turn. So we got our 1 zombie. Are he in pistol range? No, not even close. So that's it for Plague Father. Alright, up next here we have is the Architect of Fate. And we're just going to pull a normal turn, which will tap this zombie here. And again, nothing to really... Do I want to spin? No, I think we're just going to cruise. Just going to cruise. And take our 1 zombie. And that should do it. Alright, we're back up here at the top of the gear. Plague Father in pole position again. I think we're just going to hairpin to try to collect a bunch of these. So let's just... Uh-oh. Really? That's silly. That's just ridiculous. I think we're going to shift. We're going to shift once. We get a hazard from this, so either we I either want to spin to readjust, or we'll just get rid of the hazard. Or we will just take 2 hazards, which is fine. I'm not going to bother. So we're just going to cruise, somehow missing every single zombie up here. And too far for shooting, so that's it. Alright, we've got Lord of Rage here now. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to do just a simple churn. Just trying to get him back into action here. Definitely doesn't have range to shooting, so that's all he's got. Alright, so we're here with the Architect of Fate. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to skim this here. So we went with a gentle churn. And hopefully, yeah, this will work. So we're going to take 3 zombies and a fire token. Get out of here. From this churn. So just like that. And, ooh. Now this is going to put us real close to the board edge. I don't think we can get out of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll some shifts. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to roll 3 shifts. And what we're going to hopefully do is spin. And if worse comes to worse, we can downshift to gear 1 and then reverse next turn. So let's see what we got. Okay. All right. It's not too bad. We're going to cancel the slide. We'll keep the spin, which for 1 hazard. So that's not too bad. So we're going to go here. Take that. Then spin. We can spin up to this much. And I think that will do it. Adding 3 zombies, bringing his total up to 15. Alright, back at the top of the round, we got Architect of Fate up first this time. We're just going to do a nice churn to kind of get back into the game. And that will clock him a zombie. And there's really nothing to do, so we're just going to cruise. Here, and adding 1 zombie to the counter. Alright, up next here we have the Lord of Rage. And I think what the Lord of Rage is going to do is just another churn. We're going to come get some zombies over here. So we're just going to lane that up. And again, no real need to shift too much. So we're just going to go boop, line that up for next turn. And I think that's good. Alright, up next we got Plague Father here. But what I'm thinking we're going to do is we got all this here. So pulling through all these janky templets. And I was thinking the veer doesn't seem quite as sharp, whereas the swerve is pretty sharp. So I'm thinking we could do something like this. That'll get us 1 zombie. And again, there's no need to really leave gear 3 for anybody. So we're just going to kind of cruise. Final position will get us 2, which will add to the counter. Come here, you. And there's nobody really in range to shoot. Let's see, +2. Oh, +2 brings us to 20 zombies. So, Plague Father over here, as the name suggests, putting down plagues, wins the match, killing zombies. But it was a fairly real close game, other than the Lord of Pleasure just getting a little munch. It was like, I got better things to do. I hope you guys like watching. You know, I got more coming up. Thanks. Oh, what you guys are doing in my stack fridge out here in the backyard. But since you're out here, let me straighten you up a little bit. Since you're out here, let me ask you a couple questions. You like buying custom cars and whatnot? Do you like promoting small YouTube channels as myself? I don't know, maybe you just like buying some cool merch? Or perhaps even, do you enjoy some smooth jazz? Either way, I opened up an Etsy shop, just selling off all the builds to help promote the channel, because I'm never going to use them in the games anyway. So I'm going to throw the link down in the description of the videos now. I got cool cars. Anything you see on the channel, buy it if you want. Thinking about adding some stickers and custom dice maybe later on. I got a message system set up, so if you want some commissions, like commission terrain or other, you can hit me up there too. So I think that's it for my short little ad shelling out my thing. So I'm going to grab my cheesy sticks and this Bex, and I'm out of here. See you later.